We are now. Okay, so let me, almost there. Alright, welcome to Chapter 5 of Imperium Maledictum, an Ancient Evil. And I will read the intro thing once I bring it up. Tell me if you see this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Chapter 5.
Yep.
Our Persepolis. And prepare for the ritual to warp. Moments later, Gellerfield down, Gellerfield down. The demons were finally expunged, or so the crew in command of the Black Storm believes. It took a week, dropping out of the Imperium and purging the ship deck by deck, compartment by compartment. Perhaps you participated, perhaps not, after the injuries you suffered, both mental and physical. Over 5,000 souls were either killed, their minds destroyed, or burned as heretics after they succumbed to the lure of the warp. It wasn't just the rank and file. The Sinistral Titus was found dead, shot through the back. At least he did not fall to demons. Oela, Krenix's personal psyker, was found comatose but alive. She was plunged into the machine that kept her breathing, but not given over to the Adeptus Mechanicus just yet. Newt's badly injured leg was repaired, metal screws and plates inserted. He still walked with a limp and was ordered to bed rest, but in time he would return to normal. Eventually, you entered the warp again. This time, there was no accident or malfunction. Your destination was Persepolis, a hive world. There, you would dock for repairs and bring on a new crew to replace those that had died in combat with House Zepton and the demon incursion. For Djangus, it was troubling. What had happened? What was his role in all this? What did his dreams mean? And, yeah, let's, give me one sec. We'll do, start off with the three of you at the barracks. Newt is still with the Krichurgeon. And it's been a couple weeks, and you know that your journey towards the hive world, Persepolis, is nearing an end, and that you will be there soon. You haven't heard much from Kranix the Elder or anyone else. It's just kind of been kind of busy. And what have you been doing for the last couple weeks?
Claudia spent a lot of time in the range and just familiarizing herself with the ship in general, trying to get her mind wrapped around this really completely alien way of life. But it's starting, the routine is comforting, and she's starting to feel a little bit comfortable here.
Thane, as he was lucky enough not to sustain any injuries in the area where the Geller field had been disabled, had spent a large part of the first week putting down any rebellious elements of the crew, those that had gone insane or had been touched by the warp too much. After that, when things had calmed down, he had gone about his training, keeping fit, maybe helping Claudia with ranged work, and maybe her helping him in turn with some of his melee skills. Ultimately, he had decided to sell her his chain sword, knowing that she could put it to much better use than he ever could. But now, as time had passed and they had settled into a rhythm, he had talked to Djangus about what he had learned, as well as Newt, and tried to keep Newt in good spirits, which seemed to be fairly easy to do.
Djangus, for his part, has spent a lot of time in reflection of what he saw when the incursion had happened, where he woke up, what his dreams were, and as he learned more about what happened, who was lost in the crew, and in particular the psyker who he remembered helping him, seeing what state she was in or hearing about what state she was in, it continued to trouble him. He continued to ruminate on what that dream meant. He tries to help where he can, but there's a distance, there's an absence. And he wasn't perhaps the most talkative individual before, but there's an even greater reservation now.
I think enough time's passed, and Claudia's still, as we're sitting around here, she is still not clear on what did we learn before this whole thing with warps and demons? Was this at all related to the person we thought might be leaking information?
One thing you do know is Newt had told you, you've visited him at his bedside several times, and he was happy to tell you that Cranix the Younger was definitely not the person who betrayed his father, because he was an upstanding man, and he could never do such a thing.
Well, it seems the son is not to blame based on what our hulking Fred Newt said. And I would guess that what Claudia and I discovered with Ishmael, he sees him as a father and holds him in high regards. I don't see him as being the suspect. And Djangus, did we know he never talked to Titus?
Unless he told you.
I don't know that he would have brought it up at first, but
What did you learn with Titus? I know things have been crazy these last few weeks, and we didn't get much of a chance when Gellerfield failed.
yeah, Djangus, he sits there and he looks distant, looks out, and he doesn't immediately answer you. It seems like he might not have heard you.
Djangus, you here? What's
yeah.
bugging you?
I'm sorry, what did you were asking me about Seneschal, is that?
Yes, Titus. Did you get a chance to question him before he was killed?
No, there was a personal thing that came up that I had to deal with, and I never got a chance to speak with the Seneschal before his untimely demise.
It just seems oddly convenient that he was killed before we had a chance to talk to him.
I agree. It makes me wonder who else might be at work here. If Newt says, and Newt seems pretty steady, that Cranix the Younger ain't one who's been leaking information, and you're pretty sure about the arch-militant that would have left the Seneschal, but seeing as he's dead, I don't know. Unless somebody else found out that he was a traitor and enacted their own kind of vengeance. But it seemed like very few people knew about this.
Vengeance seems less likely than plugging. What do they call it?
Tying up loose ends?
Tying up loose ends.
Maybe, but who's in a position of power now within the house that's going to consider a Seneschal of his stand in a loose end?
Lord Cranix has thousands of people under his command. It's possible whoever was betraying him was tying up the loose end, or perhaps the Seneschal discovered this plot and was killed before he could make Lord Cranix aware. There's possible it could be someone else, though at the moment I'm not sure who it could be.
Do we have any access to the Seneschal's quarters or belongings? Recordings, journals, logs.
We could probably request it. We'd have to likely go directly to Branix the Elder himself or through one of his personal assistants, but if it was part of our investigation, I don't see why that would be an issue.
It just depends if he's trying to keep this quiet. I don't know if maybe one of his replacements, or whomever, whether it's Decimus or someone else, would give us access to that.
As you say that, speaking of the door, there's a bang, like there's somebody outside wanting to come in, but it's they haven't opened the door. They're just alerting you, so you open it. It's like a doorbell, essentially.
Yeah, Thane kind of gives him the little shush and goes and enters, pushes a button allowing the individual access.
Yeah, the door opens and Decimus steps in, and he looks and he's like, "Hello, I have been sent by Lord Cranix. I need to do something." And he looks around and waves Thane over. "Please, come here. Take off your helmet."
And he does so.
He pulls up a pic recorder, and he points it at your face and takes a picture. And he says, "That is all I need."
And he did that to Thane?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, that was highly unusual.
Well, I do not know why Lord Cranix has asked me to do this, and I simply do as he wills. Now that I am at least acting seneschal for his command crew.
Very well, if that is what Lord Cranix wants, then very well.
Yes, I think we are near leaving the Imperium, and we will be planet-side soon. Have any of you ever been to a hive world?
No, I have not.
And he looks Claudia up and down. If you think this place is busy, just wait. Billions and billions, perhaps trillions of people.
Are they human people?
He blinks his one eye. Yes, they are.
Well, what is but the hive is just reference to how they live?
Yes, packed close together. The world, as I know it, is almost entirely city.
That will be something to see. Do we have a purpose there?
I'm sure the Lord will find something for you to do. I can imagine he has had me come all the way down here to take Thane's picture because he wants to put it on his throne. Ha!
Have you taken over the previous Senescal's quarters?
No, I have my own quarters. I assume if my posting becomes permanent, I will get an upgrade in quarters, and then I would move there, yes. But not yet.
Well, I am sure you will do an excellent job. And she just kind of smiles and nods and bows a little bit to him.
He smiles. I do plan on it. Lord Titus was a good man, but we all die. We are all flesh.
Yeah, Djangus, he looks at Decimus. Don't mean to be a gossip, but we were quite surprised that Titus passed away in such a fashion. Have you heard anything that about what might have befell him? Of course, we know he was shot in the back, but
Yes, that's all I know. He was shot in his office. It was crazy that day. You know how it was. There were heretics running about, and I believe it was likely just a chance meeting with someone who had been defiled by the warp. He shrugs.
yeah. Does he seem like he's being
You can do
forthright
an
with everything he
intuition.
knows? Yeah.
If you have human specialization, you can use that. I don't think anybody does, but
I know,
Mhm.
but I'll do an intuition.
Wow.
Djangus, you're a smarty. You think he's probably lying. Mhm. It
Yeah,
seems.
Djangus looks-
It seems. It seems fairly. Likely that what he says is true, but something about the way he says it, it's just not sitting well with you.
Yeah. Yeah, Djangus will nod. It's true. We all die. We're all just flesh and blood, no matter our aspirations. He just nods along with that.
Well, if there's
And
anything.
we are
Hmm.
we are all not just flesh and blood. Some of us are mechanicus.
Oh yes, I suppose I did not count the Tex priests of Mars. They serve their purpose. I'm not one for the machine spirits, except paying them homage when I must.
She makes this, kind of sign to herself that's like the sign against the evil eye from her planet.
He just says, yes, anyway, I have a busy morning. I must return this to the Lord for whatever he wants of it. Excuse me. If you need of me, simply come to my office. And he gives a short bow and gives you just a second to say something before he departs.
Thane keeps quiet.
Yeah, nobody
Thanks,
says
thanks,
anything. He just
Mm-mm.
he takes off. The door shuts
It's-
behind him.
As soon as the door closes, and Djangus is gonna give it a few moments, but he's gonna hold up his hand as if he means to speak. Just a few moments to make sure that
Yeah, you can
come
look
again and
outside
walks by.
too. There's like a
Yeah.
slider.
sees him leave. Yeah, as soon as he's out of sight, Djangus looks to Thane and Claudia and goes, Decimus is hiding something. I'm sure of it.
He seems an ambitious sort.
He knows more about what happened to Titus. He seemed the face of it a real easy truth, or a real easy lie for him to tell, but he knows more now. Whether or not that means he knows more about the deed, or there's just not so much that we're being told here by those that are in charge, I don't know, but I know that he knows more about what happened to Titus. I'm certain.
Would the trainer be able to give us access to that? Who other than Kranix would be able to give us access to the quarters of the old Seneskull?
Talk with the arch-militant, maybe? Maybe we're investigating his death?
Yes, he seemed a reasonable man and seemed to have some suspicions of his own.
Should we not go to Lord Kranix first to see if we want to bring him in on this, or
Does he want to? I don't know how loud that would make the... Would that make the word get around more?
I mean, I don't know how suspicious it would look. We are agents of his, so it wouldn't look too suspicious from that angle, but if Decimus is the acting seneschal, it's a fair bet he might be privy to those meetings at this time. So if he does know more, and he's involved, he might try to stonewall us in his own way. We're going to be giving him the information as much as we are Kranix.
Let us maybe at least speak with the I'm sorry, I keep forgetting what that guy's title is.
Which one?
The Arch-Militant.
Yeah.
With him to see what he thinks. If we need to get greater authority, then we can go from there.
Maybe the two of you could do that. You got a good rapport with the Arch-Militant. I want to check on Newt and see about everybody that was hurt. Out of character, that I'm doing something else, but that's what I'm saying.
Right, right.
Just a quick question, like, would the Arch-Militant be within the chain of command to kind of investigate that? Would he be able to grant authorization? Would Thane know that? Or
That's what Claudia was getting at. Like, does he even have that ability?
I think that you would think he would. He probably is in all military matters and security matters. He is second only to the Lord Kranix. So
okay, yes, I believe Claudia and I could speak with him and maybe try and convince him that we're trying to investigate his death. That there's something abnormal about it, and it wasn't simply just some crewman driven insane by contact with the warp.
Are there any sort of... I don't know if Claudia would even know about cameras, so I'm not going to suggest that. I don't actually really understand the kind of technology that would be on the ship. I mean, is there any sort of surveillance?
Some places, yes. Some places, no. It's just, it depends. There were no cameras down in the lower bowels of the ship. Thane and Djangus would know this. There probably are in some places, but it's not something that happens that often.
Okay.
It's kind of like, like the lower bowels of the ship would be, if I had to find like a modern analog, would be like the ghetto of a city. Like, think of this as one giant city, and your upper decks where, you have your fancy, well-to-do neighborhoods as your upper decks where you have Kranix in them, and then your middle of it is like your soldier, mechanicum, stuff like that. And then the bottom of the ship are all the dregs, like the slave labor and all that. And there's no cameras down there. It's a pretty gross area.
Yeah. And the Hive City is going to be similar to that, so it's kind of...
So I don't think they'd have any sort of surveillance down there, but I don't know, we could possibly discover what Decimus's intent is.
Now, the Seneschal's office might have surveillance. That's possible. So Thane and Claudia, you're wanting to talk to Ishmael, and Djangus, you're going to do something else. Is that right?
Yes, but Djangus has had a thought too.
Okay.
Right before they go, Djangus said, "Wait, hold on a second. One more thing I'm thinking now. If we're working this angle, Decimus just took a picture of you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what could he use that for to make this difficult for us? Because if we're agents and he knows anything of this, again, he's going to make this hard. So how would he make that difficult on you if he has that pic recording? That's something to think about. I don't know if we got answers right now, but it's something to think about.
I am curious, though, why Lord Kranix would want my picture taken and put on a pic feed by Decimus, but I can't just go up and ask him now, can I?
No, just... we're in a weird spot right now. Just be cautious. It could just be something that Kranix needs for getting us down there on the planet. Maybe it's something to help you in official capacity, but if we do think Decimus had something to do with Titus's death, and maybe even the greater scheme of which we're investigating, he has a picture of you now that he might be able to manipulate.
And if that is the case, then perhaps it is a good idea to speak with the arch militant, someone as powerful as that, one of the most highest ranking individuals on the Black Storm, would be a good individual to have in our corner in case there was some sort of false accusation or something to that effect by Decimus.
I like that's a good idea. I'll reconvene with the two of you later. I'm gonna go do that check. He'll excuse himself.
Djangus, where are you going?
I'm going to see how the psyker is, and if I've got time before they contact me, I'm gonna investigate her room to try to better understand anything in the gap that I have now in my memory.
Yeah, give me a
The new gap in my memory.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me get that stuff back up here. Compendium. Black Storm. Psyker. How do I do this? Okay, let's do that first. Just a sec. Yeah, you head back over there. You can check on her, and she's in the same state she was. She's hooked up to a ventilator, and her eyes seem to be well, they're closed, so it's hard to say. But you've heard that they were odd when you saw them, or when someone saw them, took her to the med bay, if you will, yeah, she's hooked up to a ventilator under a big blanket, essentially, and she does not appear to be waking up anytime soon. The machine helps her breathe. There's all these huge tubes, one going into her nose and one into her mouth. Yeah.
And Sharujan has no idea what's going on. It's like brain damage and anything that he can tell, or just no idea.
He says, well, yeah, when you would come up to him, he tells you that if you ask him, he would be pretty open that he's unsure. He says there's no physical damage done to her body besides her eyes, and he actually goes over and kind of like peels her eye lids apart to show you. There's like all this, like, when you busted blood vessel in your eye, but they're all over. Like the whites of her eyes are almost completely red from that, and they're really glossy otherwise. But yeah, he says there's no physical injury. He makes a conjecture that something in the warp happened to her as a psyker, and just kind of shrugs.
Yeah, Djangus will take all that in. If and when she wakes up, I'm Djangus. I'm one of Lord Kranix's agents. Just contact me. Let me know.
Yeah, he just seems a little like, just shrugs. Sure, very well. If she wakes up, I don't expect she shall. She is likely to be offloaded onto the planet. Perhaps the black ships will take her.
Yeah, he blinks and he kind of pinches the bridge of his nose. And, but thank you for letting me know. He leaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you head back over to her room, which is unlocked, so you can't go inside.
Yeah, so he'll go in, and he's gonna just try to case it, try to make sense of what happened between the time that he went to sleep, dreamt that dream, and when he woke up again to see what happened in here, because this is where he remembers being before all that.
Mhm.
He's gonna look around, investigate, see things look out of place.
What is
try to
that?
see if
Logic.
things move.
Give me a logic skill check. See if you see anything.
Ooh, that's bad.
You're on fire today so far. Yeah. So you see, kind of, you remember where you laid down, and went to sleep, and she was kind of right above you, as you recall. You're kind of like, you put your hand on the table and you kind of put your hand over it, and you feel that this is like not smooth. It's kind of like almost like a pleather kind of material on the bed there, or the bench that you were laying on. And yeah, it's not smooth. There's some sort of etching into it. Very faint, but you can feel it more than you can actually see it.
An etching in the table.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just like elevated, or is
Yeah,
it
just well, it's actually depressed, so it's something in there. You're kind of feeling it, and you're not really sure what it is. You kind of can back up and kind of get a look. You have a glow globe, right? You can kind of look at it, and it does look strange to you. I don't know if you're gonna know what this is, but let's see. So you found it. So hold on. I'm just gonna post this in chat. Copy image address. Kind of looks like this as far as a thing. And now, give me a lore check to see if you know what it means.
Oh boy. Any advantages for being an Inquisition at all?
I would say let's make it yes, because you might have some, because you had some sort of interaction with them. Let's make it routine. So all your fate's back if you wanted to do that. If you
I
want.
will fate.
Okay, so go
In
ahead.
fairness,
Yeah.
it was a Mark Slanesh and a 69 roll, so it should be an automatic success.
This is true. This
That
is
should
very
be a
true.
critical, right?
And basically, yeah, I should know everything. Fucking transcendent. You said lore 20?
Routine. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You know it's the mark of Slanesh. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's under where I was on the table?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How big is this? Is it like from head to toe? Is it
No,
where
it's
my head
probably
was?
2 feet by 2 feet ish.
Now, I remember before I laid down, as far as I
You didn't
aware,
feel
was
it.
that there?
You did not feel
Didn't
it.
feel
You
it.
did. No. It all seemed.
Oh. Shit. He's looking at it, and he's trying to put pieces together. He just knows what he knows, with that being the case. So that's just there, and he's and this isn't something I can take. It's just part of the table.
Yeah, it's part of the table. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You could potentially like cut the material off and take the piece of it. Yeah, you could do that, but you can't take the whole table, obviously.
No, I don't be carrying that shit around.
You could destroy it. That would be pretty easy to do.
Yeah, I think I will deface it. That doesn't seem right to leave. If I know what it is, I think I will deface it.
Okay. Yeah, you do that, no problem. You just like however you do it. How do you deface it? Like with your knife or something?
Yeah, I'll take my knife out and just scrape it away.
Mhm.
I'll commit it to memory. I already know it's there, and it was not there, and then it was. Now
Yep.
that I'm like,
Mhm.
I'll case the room for the sake of brevity. See if there's anything that she was researching, looking up, or any. I mean, even if there's anything, this is a stretch, but if she's got anything that if she got literature here that relates to her condition of being in a coma.
You look
I don't
around
know.
and there's a ton of like totem scrolls and stuff like that, incantations. But you don't. You see nothing. No other Slanesh or chaos influence markings anywhere. Nothing like that. You see charms and things that psychers would have. Prayers to the emperor. Definitely nothing else chaos inclined in here. There are all kinds of these things that you don't know what is. But nothing that's obviously chaos influenced at all. Definitely nothing about her condition or anything like that. Pretty much that's all you find. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if there's a prayer of the emperor that I can read, I'll take that and bring it to her for the sake.
Yeah, it's like it's a scroll. Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be it for me. If I don't see, let's look around the room one more time before. It's like looking at it, taking it in, not investigatory, but I'll look around and just
Yep. It just
more questions than answers almost.
yeah. There's nothing else in here. Mm-mm.
Yeah, he'll leave and he'll just wait to hear from them.
All right. Let's do that. Let me get that one back out. So let's just do this one. All right, barracks. Oh shit, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. What? Armory. There we go. Okay. So you how do you contact Ishmael? You could probably just send him a Vox or a microbead message.
Yeah, Ishmael or Thane will reach out to Ishmael and just say basically, that he wishes to speak with him on a private matter if he can get a minute of his time.
Yeah, and he responds to meet him at it's actually a different area. It's not exactly the same armory that you had met him in before. It's actually kind of probably we'll say I don't have the slide for it, but it's kind of like a mechanical bay with a bunch of lighters and gunships and stuff, and he's just inspecting them. And as you two enter, he spots you and inclines his head and makes his way over to you. He's actually not wearing his power armor currently. He's just wearing formal dress. Or not formal dress. He's more like wearing kind of like fatigues, almost like because he's just working on this stuff. And he heads over and he's like, "Agents, what may I do for you this day?"
He kind of bows his head. He goes, Arch-Militant, if you remember, this is Agent Claudia. She was recently put under my team after the mission on Jorgen, and we would come to speak with you about a matter we deem urgent.
Speak. He kind of waves you over to a little side office, and he steps inside, and when you follow him, he closes the door behind you.
As you know, as the head of both the forces and security details of Lord Kranix, it is your charge to root out any agents that would see us harm, but my team has reason to believe that Titus, the Seneschal, was not killed by random chance when the Gellerfield went down during warp transit, but we believe he possibly was murdered for a different reason, and we come here asking for your help in possibly any security measures or footage the Black Storm has near his offices.
The Seneschal, Titus, you believe he was murdered for some reason other than the chaos that erupted on the ship?
That is correct. We have reason to believe he was murdered. Whether it relates to...
Well, certainly he was murdered.
Yes, but not by madness or warp-infused madness or random chance, but directly, purposely. Whether it was by... We're trying to discover that, whether it was an agent of House Zepton, or if it had something to do with the Gellerfield malfunction. We don't know, but we have cause to believe that this was targeted.
Interesting. The Lord Krenix has you investigating this? I did not know he was that fond of Titus to care.
He entrusted us, as he entrusted us to retrieve the relic, with rooting out any possible issues, this being one of them. Kind of like purposely vague.
Yeah. Fine. I'll see to it. It might take a few hours.
Have I been muted this whole time?
Yes.
You have.
That's funny. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, if you got something to say, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, he's just... Fine, yes, I'll have one of my people see to it.
Miss, when they retrieve the data, I would like to be there so we can review it and ensure that there was nothing to confirm our suspicions, be it good or bad.
I will let you know.
Would it be possible to get access to the Seneschal's old quarters?
He kind of thinks about it for a second. He says, I don't see why not. They've already been gone through for information that is privileged. Data slates and such, and they have been removed.
That just on the off chance that there is something there that someone would not recognize as important.
I think it is possible.
We would appreciate the opportunity to review his room, and though I'm sure quite tedious and boring as that is the life of a seneschal, if we do have access to those data slates and information in his room, review those as well.
He just looks at Thane and says, I don't think so. That would be Lord Krenix who could give you this information. I cannot. I have not the access to it myself. A seneschal's business is with Solars and Gelt.
Of course, Archmilitant. If we do believe it is necessary, we will obviously seek Lord Krenix's permission. We would not dare try and access that without his will.
You will need to talk to the Lord about this. I can give you access to the security footage, if there is any, and his room. That is all. I do not have access to anything else.
That is fair.
He gives you kind of a sidelong glance and he says, do know that you are newly arrived here, and you do appear to be snooping about. Agents of the Lord Krenix or not, be wary who you speak to.
Is there anyone in particular, Archmilitant, that you advise me to be wary around?
You should be wary around anyone, myself included.
Fair enough.
He sighs and he's like, there's much work to be done. And if that is all, I will have my agents attempt to find the information you seek and get you access, but I must repair these gunships.
Of course, you've been most helpful. We will be on standby until we have a chance to review that footage.
He nods, and without much ado, afterwards he walks out and opens the door and heads back over to one of the gunships, and you see a couple Adeptus Mechanicus helping him. He's more worried about the ordnance, it appears. A few, half an hour after this, each of you get a message on your microbeads from Decimus, and he says, Lord Cranix wishes to see each of you. Please come to his throne room immediately. And then the communication shuts off. He doesn't wait for a reply.
Claudia probably hasn't even seen him yet, right?
Decimus? Or the Lord. No. I don't think so. Mm-mm. You were just told that he de-aged, I think, last session.
Yep. Yeah, Thane will, he's in his fatigues as well, not his armor. He'll wear just his duty sidearm and look to the others and shall we go see our Lord?
Is this normal? Is there any reason to be concerned?
Normally, I would say yes, there is cause for concern. While we are above the standard rank and file of the ship, to meet with him would be a most unusual circumstance, but he has already tasked us with several high-value missions, to include the retrieval of the relic from your homeworld, and he has designated us with this important task of rooting out any suspected traitors, so I am less concerned than I normally would be.
And she nods, still feeling a little nervous.
Yeah. Djangus, I'm assuming you'll head that way as well.
Yeah, I imagine this would happen after he's
Yeah.
done all his little things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he'll whatever message he can, he'll let Thane and Claudia know he's heading that way.
Yeah. So
Some brief.
as you head, Claudia, you realize you're heading up. You take all these lifts up, and as you keep going up, as Thane kind of mentioned earlier, everything gets more ornate. Eventually you get to perhaps the area that you're going, and you're almost in shock by the decadence. Massive red tapestries with symbolism of whatever their house sigil is, the lightning bolt, and massive amounts of precious metal, golds and silvers and bronze, and all this very highly, reflective metals as well. Just gemstones set into, candelabras, and just braziers with these fake fires. It is just the craziest thing you've ever seen. Just the opulence of everything. More wealth here than you have ever could even imagine existed, let alone seen. And finally you head to these massive double doors, and Decimus is just standing there, and he kind of waves you in, so I'll let you kind of react as you get closer.
Is there... What is there something I should know? How do I address him?
Address him as Lord Cranix and kneel before him when you enter the room. Do not make eye contact when you kneel, and only speak when spoken to.
And she'll nod. looking to the others for, she'll just kind of follow their lead.
Yeah, the doors are pushed open in front of you, and you see this ornate throne, and you see a youngish man, no older than Thane. Djangus is kind of hard to tell. You see all these flying skulls about, and you actually see some cherubs. I don't think I have any images for those, but yeah, these cherubs look like these babies with wings, with cybernetic eyes, flying around, just aimlessly almost. It's very, very strange, and yeah, they're like they look like babies, but they have wings and they have infused like mechanical parts. And yeah, they're flying about. When you get close, they kind of flutter away. Yeah, Ghost, good picture in Discord there. They kind of flutter away, and you see that there's a woman who Thane and Djangus met briefly at the ball, with the side of her head shaved. She sits on a smaller kind of like stoolish chair next to the throne. She has a long black gown on with a deep V V-neck cut dress, but she's very flat. She's an odd looking individual, actually. You can tell her she's got very long legs, very long torso, very long arms. She just kind of sits there as Kranix, when you walk in, he smiles. He's like, Djangus, Thane, and he looks to Claudia and he's like, and who is this?
I'm assuming they all kind of kneeled as they entered. She, stands up with them and kind of looks toward the others. She doesn't say anything because she's not sure she's been spoken to.
Yeah, Thane, speaks for her. He's like, he kneels and then gets up. Lord Kranix, this is Claudia from the planet Jorgen. She was instrumental in helping us retrieve the relic you had us retrieve, and she was assigned to my team when she was in process by the administratum.
Interesting. I like how you are building your team. Ambition. It works well. I heard Newt suffered a grievous injury when the Geller Fields fell.
Yes, Lord, he was injured. His leg was broken, but he fought valiantly in defense of your ship, and we were able to repel the warp spawn successfully.
Well, can you do without him for a little while?
Yes, Lord. Claudia has proven more than capable, though she does not look as if she was an Astartes like Newt does. She finished one of the warp spawn and on the planet of Jorgen killed a murder servitor. It was a very impressive feat.
Can she be trusted? That is the real question. This group that we have formed, you and I trust you with my life.
I am humbled by such words, as we all are, but yes, I trust her.
And he looks at Clay and says, stand and come before me.
She glances at Thane and then stands and keeps her eyes kind of downcast as she comes forward toward him. Stopping, she'll come forward, but she doesn't know exactly where to stop, so I guess she'll stop. She'll just guess.
Yeah, you stop, halfway or so. He kind of, he gets off his throne and walks. He's walking around you, and it's like very unnerving, right? And he kind of touches you on the shoulder, walks around. He as you're looking down, he puts like two fingers on your chin and pushes your head up to look at him, and you see this ring on his finger, and something catches you kind of straight. You can't look away from it. It's very strange. You don't know why, but he smiles at you, and he's like, "We will see. We will see how you do. I have a good feeling about you. Thane seems to be a good judge of character." And he goes and just sits back down. He's like, "Tell me, do you wish to serve me? You are likely press-ganged into this. If you wish, I can let you off at the port of call we are going to in Persepolis, and you can be on your way, if it is your wish."
She glances kind of alarmed back at the others and, shakes her head. No, my lord. Yes, I was taken onto this ship, but only after my city, my people, my entire village was destroyed. I have nothing to go back to, and, well, these men are the start of building something new for me. So I do not wish to be released in some strange planet. Please. And she kind of, does like another little bow. I know I can be of good service to you.
Good. I always need those with skills to serve House von Skald. And we are in a peculiar situation now.
So I am learning, my lord.
Good. I have always said, and my father even said to me ages ago, that the best way to learn is to do. And I have a task for the three of you. I have a very important task for the three of you. Let me ask you before I give you something new to do. Have you found the traitor? Any leads?
We do have a lead, my lord. We have eliminated the arch-militant and your son as suspects, leaving Titus. Unfortunately, he was killed when the Gellerfield went down. However, we believe his death was not random by those driven insane when they were exposed to the warp, but possibly murdered. We are currently investigating that.
I see. Good. Well, I will ask you to take a break from that investigation to do something for me. There's another traitor, so the tech priests tell me. It appears our Geller fields failed because they were sabotaged.
An agent of House Septon, perhaps?
Perhaps. He shrugs. He says, "My psyker would typically be able to discover the truth by looking deep into the warp. But, alas, she also was afflicted by our great treachery. But there is someone I know of that could help us. On the planet. That's why we're going there. Decimus!" And he yells for Decimus to enter. And Decimus will... One second. Where is he?
Claudia looks at Decimus. She wants to see if he looks like, just judging by the speed at which he entered, and does she think that he has been listening?
Oh, you can.
Anyways.
The doors were shut, but yeah, you can give me a what would it be? Intuition check.
Okay.
You think that he has been, probably. Yeah. He walks in very cocksure of himself.
Yeah, she looks at him, steadily, trying not to reveal anything, but closely examining him as he approaches Lord Kranix.
Yeah. Kranich says, Thane, I must ask you to do something that is perhaps out of your, how do they say it, wheelhouse, but it is important, and I do not believe I have anyone else I can trust in this matter.
Yes, my lord. Your will be done.
Decimus walks over to you, and he has something in his hands, and he has it's like, there's a red cloth over it, and he passes it over to you. So you're not sure what it is. There's something underneath there, covered by a red cloth, golden etched and etching on the, it's very fancy.
He looks at Decimus, kind of nods, looks to the Lord, assuming he's going to give him like a non-verbal, permission to see what it is. And he does so. He opens it up.
Yeah, you pull it back away, and it looks like so. Oh boy. He says, I need you to assume the identity of an inquisitor for this visit to the planet. And it is an inquisitorial rosette. You would know what they are. And Claudia, this is basically the badge of office of an inquisitor. It lets you do a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'll let you figure that out, Thane.
Yeah, Thane's kind of eyes are like really wide. He's like, my lord, is this not a crime of the highest order to impersonate the Inquisition?
It is for the good of mankind, you see. It is not something I do willingly, but something that could... Well, someone brought chaos to this ship. Can you imagine if this vessel was overcome by demons? It is only by your quick hand that we survived. If you do not want it, then give it back to me now and never speak of it again.
He looks to like Djangus because he knows he's been involved with the Inquisition and looks to kind of see his reaction to this.
Seeing it, I mean, I recognize it, of course. Djangus looks at Thane, and he looks to Thane. I can't make the choice for you. It's a hell of a burden. And you are right. But this is also something your Lord's asking of you. It's up to you.
He kind of sighs for a moment and kind of straightens his posture. I will bear this burden for House von Skold. Who is it you wish for us to retrieve?
Good. The rosette is encoded to your binomes and your image. It is why I had Decimus take your picture. When a cogitator scans it, everything should be in order. Your name is Inquisitor Skarl. Recite it to memory. Now, you will take off your... you will not don the outfit of a astromilitarium or armsman any longer. Ishmael has provided in your barracks what you will wear. Djangus and Claudia will serve as your acolytes. Is that understood?
Understood, Lord. I will go to the barracks and retrieve my inquisitorial garb.
Wonderful. Now, you are going to the planet. There is a large prison there. in the bowels of the hive. There is a man. He is a psyker. A psyker with a unique talent to see the past. He is imprisoned. You must convince the warden to release him. His name is Gadron. He is a dangerous man from everything I've heard, but ambitious. We will promise him wealth and freedom, and for that he will serve us.
If I
Claudia, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If it pleases your lord, you say we must convince them to release him.
Yes.
What means might we use? What would be too much?
Use whatever
Convincing.
means you wish and need it. As an inquisitor, Thane should be able to simply tell her to release him, and she will. I have given you all the tools to do this. And he nods to the rosette.
Does she know? Has she seen Inquisitors before?
No. Now here's the thing though, Torn told you he was an inquisitorial acolyte. So you know of them, right?
Doesn't know what that necessarily means.
Yeah,
but...
you know, basically to you he was like a detective, you know.
Okay. There's some authority there.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
What she's taking
Definitely,
out.
yes, you think so.
Well, that's all from her.
My lord, do you have any dossiers or data slates on this warden and anything I can learn about him to gain an advantage in securing the release of this Gadron?
Decimus. He has like, he pulls back his cape, and there's just, it seems like improbable that would be that many data slates on his hip, and he kind of picks one up and starts like quickly scrolling through it. It's almost like a tablet, right? And he just kind of like flicks through it, and he's like, let's see here. Yes, it is Warden Sevilla O'Connell. She is, let's see, 105 years of age, a mutant, minor mutations at birth. This is her home. Was in the Astra Militarium and was assigned as a warden here. Biography otherwise, several honors, fighting the Greenskins. No real emotional dossier can be found. That is all I have. She has served there for 6 years. No one has ever escaped.
Very well. I'd like a copy of that information to study as we embark to the planet's surface.
He nods. I will see it done. And Krenix smiles. And I am glad you are with me on this one, Thane. Djangus, Claudia, you will be well rewarded if you succeed.
I most humbly accept this mission and any reward to come once we retrieve this psyker.
He nods, and he just sits there in silence, which you think that means you can go.
Yeah, he kind of nods to him and turns to Djangus and Claudia and gives a small nod to them.
Before they turn to go, Djangus would actually speak up. Lord Von Skold.
Yes, Djangus.
Might I speak with you in private?
Yes, if you wish. And he nods to Thane and Claudia.
Yeah.
Claudia looks at Thane curiously, but then shrugs.
Yeah, he's kind of like, meh, but goes ahead and agrees to leave.
Decimus has left the room as well. Or is he still there?
Do you want him to stay, or are you asking him to stay?
I look to Decimus leaving the room to make sure
Yeah.
he's leaving. If he's not, then
He leaves.
I
Yes, he would leave. Mystara actually leaves as well, with Thane and Claudia walking behind them. And she's going to have a scene with them. But go ahead, Djangus.
Yeah.
Krennic
so
says,
after,
"Yes, Djangus, what is it you need from me? Not satisfied with this mission? Does it give you unease?"
no, my lords, not that. I wanted to merely bring something to your attention regarding Decimus.
Yes.
Well, I know you told us to put that information aside when we were investigating the traitor that we thought might have been an agent of House Sipton or contacted the Inquisition or what have you when we were initially having this meeting. But with Titus's murder, his death, something about it don't sit right the way it was done. It looked a little too clean from what I understand, and shot in the back of the head, shot in the back, I believe is what people were saying.
Yes. I believe most just assumed it was a crazy person. Many of our armsmen have auto guns.
Having been in the Inquisition before, I encountered my fair share of cultists and those types, and they would have left that room a bloody mess, in my opinion. I think that, well, when I asked Decimus about it earlier, he came down to take a picture of Thane, I picked up on that he wasn't being entirely forthcoming about what he knew in regards to Titus's death. And if that's information that is only to be kept to the highest of the high here, then I understand. But if it wasn't something that was to your attention, I ought to let you know that he knows more about this than he might be letting on, and he's in a very dangerous position now if he is somebody who's keeping secrets from you.
Do you think he had Titus killed then?
If I can be honest, Lord Von Skald, I couldn't say, but some of the basic things that I was taught when I was in the Inquisition was that you look to the first suspects or the people who can gain the most from someone's passing. Titus is dead. Decimus is sitting pretty. I don't know what he knows, I just know that he's got more than he's letting on about what happened to Titus.
Interesting. I never thought Decimus was quite that smart. If he did kill Titus, I am actually quite impressed.
Just wanted to make you aware, my lord, since he is close to you now and all. If he is tied into the prior plot, well, he's in a very good position to continue doing so.
That is the question. When you return, I will put it on your shoulders to find out why he killed Titus, if he did. If it was for simple advancement, he shrugs. I don't much care. If it is something else, I want to know.
As you wish, my lord. That's all I had.
You serve me well, Djangus.
He'll bow and he will head out.
Would we be able to position ourselves to prevent the new Senescal from listening in?
So you walked out after him or about the same time, and he just kept going. He left.
Okay.
Now, at the same time, Mystara does walk out with you too, and that she has come out with you. She walks just kind of like right with you, and so she's walking alongside you, and she says, It is interesting that you have gained my lord's favor so quickly. He favors you. He does not often do such a thing. Not so quickly. It takes many years of proving loyalty.
Is she speaking to me?
She's
or
talking to
both
both
of
of you,
us?
just in general. She's not speaking
Yeah.
to anyone in particular. To you and Thane.
Just to help Claudia out before she joined us, like Miss Dara, and he describes her. That is she is a courtesan of Lord Cranix, and most likely his concubine, even before his rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
So, yeah,
It's kind of nebulous of what she does otherwise, but
But he kind of looks to her. We are honored that he trusts us. Our success in the missions he has assigned to us, I am sure, has played a part in that, as well as our saving of the ship when the Geller field was down.
It does seem like you're in all the right positions to make yourself look good.
I look at it less as glory hunting and more as the favor of the Emperor seeing our hands be in the right place at the right time.
Is that so? Is that why you carry an Inquisitorial rosette? Something that would... it would be met with execution most foul.
It is on the order of our Lord. Who am I to deny him?
You are no one to deny him. You are correct about that. And if you betray him, you can think that the terrible things that would befall you on an Inquisition? No. I will see you in so much agony, so much pain, so much terror, that you will awake the Chaos Gods themselves. Do not betray him.
I will do no such thing.
And she looks to Claudia, and she just turns and walks back into the throne room, passing Djangus as he leaves.
Claudia's kind of shaking her head and looking over at Thane. Is honor in such short supply in the Empire?
Yes.
He kind of sighs at that. He goes, it seems there are definitely competing factions that seek power and glory for themselves. Why even the rogue traders, despite given the warrant of trade given to them by the God Emperor himself, or at least in his name, I should say. Now that so much time has passed, even there's rivalries amongst them. As we left your planet, House Septon, a rival rogue trader, I believe, was attacking our Lord's ship in a void engagement when we flew away on that lighter that we were able to secure.
Well, these people have no need to worry that Claudia will betray them for all these plots and plans. She just kind of shakes her head. They are, I am not accustomed to thinking like this.
You might not be, but that is one reason I want you on my team. You were a sheriff. Someone doesn't achieve that position without some common sense and a good head on their shoulders and ability to protect and uncover truths. You fought well against those raiders on the planet and that servitor. You fought well on the ship against the hordes of the warp. I think we've made a good decision about you.
Well, if you want loyalty, then that is something I can supply. And I will do my best to wrap my head around all these plottings and subversions that I see everywhere.
He kind of like puts a hand on her shoulder and kind of pats, and he goes, you know, this might seem kind of silly to you, or maybe you had something similar on your home world, but when I was just a line trooper, we always fought for the Lord because that is who our commander was. But in truth, we fought for the people to the left and right, the people that had our backs. Those were the people that we fought for to make it out of each engagement, each void battle, clearing out every space hulk. It was because we were ordered to, but it was also for the bond formed in battle and those people I could trust. And I would like to trust you in the same way. And while, like you, I don't know if I'm up for this kind of investigation. Our Lord trusts us, and he kind of holds up a thumb and he goes, "This is my lane. I'm going to stay in it and achieve the task set before us."
She smiles. Yes, this is also my lane. And what do you think Djangus wanted to talk to our Lord about?
I plan to ask him when he comes out.
Yeah, just
I
about that
know.
time he does, so.
Djangus, how are you?
Troubled, but I'm starting to feel better.
As we head back to the barracks, why don't you share your troubles with us? What is concerning you?
Well, sorry if that seemed a bit off-putting for me to ask for a personal audience, but I wanted to make Krenix aware of my suspicions with Decimus, seeing it seems like Decimus is keeping his confidence. He wants us to look into when we get back from this foray on the planet side, but he didn't seem so concerned with losing Titus. I don't know. It don't seem like anybody gives a damn about anybody what's working for him.
The new Senescal, I am almost certain he was listening at the door when we were talking. Something about the speed with which he responded and the look on his face. I should like to wipe it off.
Before we act, we need to be sure. Hopefully, we're able to glean some information from the security footage that the Archmilitant has agreed to provide us. Failing that, if this psyker that Lord Krenix wants us to retrieve is as powerful as he is, we can... Hopefully the Lord can use him to discover who the traitor is and what Decimus's true intention or intentions or goals are.
So I guess that's going to be our next task then. What was the nickname they gave you? The one you'd be using? That code name as an Inquisitor planetside?
I'm Inquisitor Scarl, and I am here to retrieve the psyker Gadrin, Warden Servilla, one who suffers from minor mutations and was a veteran of the Astra Militarum fighting greenskins, and she's been a warden for 6 years. How's that?
Sound like somebody I used to work for.
And are we all to be this Inquisitor, or just you? Because I don't know that I can be an Inquisitor.
He kind of smiles a little. I'm the Inquisitor. You are my servant, as is Djangus.
And she just kind of does a flourish, a bow with a flourish.
Now, if anything, we need to pick Jangus's brain, because both he and Newt served it with the Inquisition at one time. And while, I'll be honest, I'm not the most comfortable doing this, if it uncovers the traitor, then it is something I'm willing to do. The last thing I want to do is have both my mortal and immortal flesh torn apart in another Gellerfield accident.
True enough. Out of character, what I've seen, do the Rosettes have any particular affiliation with different Inquisition?
Sometimes
groups or
sometimes they do. Yeah, sometimes they're you know, I think that sometimes they will have your Ordo kind of like speak to your order. This one is the Ordo what is it, Malleus? So
That's psyker.
yeah,
shit,
it's
I would
psyker
know,
demon
wouldn't I?
stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Djangus will look at Thane. I mean, most important thing above and all is to be smug. Carry yourself as if you're better than these folk, because if you are an Inquisitor, then you are. That's their thoughts that they have. People are going to answer to them, and they're going to be the ones asking the questions. So, the less you give, the more you take kind of situation and conversation, the better and more authentic you're going to look. Now, that you got there, that deals with psykers. So
that would be the Ordo Hereticus.
Malleus, I think, right?
Malleus is demons, Hereticus is heresy, mutation, and rogue psychers.
Okay, then yeah, heretic. Yeah, Hereticus. Yeah.
If someone wanted to throw a wrench into our gears, is it possible that they would be able to do something that revealed us as not true?
I suppose this seal that they gave me would not work if they scanned the rosette and my ID info did not come up. Someone could, from the ship, if they knew I was going down there and pretending to be this Inquisitor, could possibly tight beam some information down to the surface or vox some information to them, warning of imposters.
I mean, that would pretty much be narrowed down, though. That'd be giving it away if we came back, right? Because how many people know that we're the ones going down there and doing this? One room full of people. 3 of us, Lord Cranix, Decimus, and his concubine.
It was odd that Mystara did come and question us while you were talking in private to the Lord. Possibly maybe a little jealous or suspicious at our fortuitous, I would say, placement in some of the most recent crises of Lord Cranix, being able to retrieve the relic, being close to securing the room that contained that component of the Geller field.
Djangus shifts uncomfortably a bit with the fortuitous placement thing, but I don't know if anyone will catch that. He tries to go on and speak. People who are close to people in power, they're always going to try to keep things tight-lipped, try to keep things closer, you know. She might just not like the fact that we're getting attention and she ain't. I don't know. I can't get a good read on her.
Yes, what is she exactly?
Yeah, he misses kind of like the uncomfortableness that Djangus is showing, but he's like, yeah, she, I don't know. She, if she is truly the concubine and serves I guess if that's the term you want to use, Lord Cranix, at his discretion, maybe she feels threatened by upcomers like ourselves.
As you're talking, you get back to the barracks, and it's only the four of you in this barrack, and you see kind of in the middle of the room, Thane and everyone else is a mannequin with carapace armor on it, the best of the best, with all these flourishes, the aquila, various other accoutrements. Just a very inquisitorial garb. And Thane, I've already pulled that onto your character sheet. So you have carapace armor for now, at least. And let's see if I get your new token out. There he is. Be gone! The new Thane.
Be gone, thought. Thane puts on the fake chin mustache. The Fu Manchu. Looks great. Looks totally...
Yeah, Claudia's taken aback. Ooh.
Yeah, he's like putting it on as a fellow combatant. He doesn't think much about changing out of his clothes and into his new inquisitorial gear, and puts the carapace armor on and puts the hood up and puts the rosette on, maybe by his holy icon around his neck. And as I look, how do I look? Do I look imperious? Wait, and he kind of like lifts his nose in the air, almost like he's talking down. He goes, yes, tell me how amazing and authoritative I look, thrall.
Yep, you look like a proper bastard. I think this disguise will work out wonderfully.
Yes, I believe the word is prick. Yes, you look like a prick.
Perfect, exactly what I was going for. I'm a natural at it.
Yeah, you guys kind of talk, and later that day you do exit the warp, and you are told that you are to take a shuttle down to the planet immediately.
Yeah, Thane will maybe cover up his outfit as best he can to kind of hide some of those markings or trappings that would be more associated with an Inquisitor, just to make sure there aren't any prying eyes.
Yeah, you could change later too. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take about 5 minutes, and then we'll head down to the surface.
Yep. We'll go get some water.
Drinking a nice glass of Starfall.
Not tonight.
I know I am. I like how we're all talking about like how important it is to trust one another and get along and make.
Let's go get the psyker who will see the past and see what I did. What's the other?
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck, I was there. I'm for it. Yeah, I'm like, hey, we gotta figure out who done this. This is a real shame that we don't know yet. And what do you mean it was me?
That's right. Oh yeah, you don't even know. That's funny. That's right.
I'm just like ready to like, oh shit. The guy's gonna be like, what do you mean? He's right here in the room, pointing at me. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just jump out this fucking window. Tuck and roll. Oh shit. All these heartwarming conversations about trust. Meanwhile, I almost killed all of us.
You didn't know. You didn't do it. It wasn't you.
Yeah.
Actually gonna fill up my water. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sure, if you had Newt here, he could explain everything to everyone. He could be the Inquisitor.
I don't think he'd even need to be an Inquisitor. Just show up.
Like, it's funny because what you could do is you could just get Newt to speak as Newt normally does, and just have him in the Inquisitor gear, have him everything else. He already fucking towers over people, and you just have other people translate what he says. Like, he's speaking Gothic, you understand it, but he's speaking like code phrases the whole time. What you could just have it be. So he's saying shit like, "Oh yes, this, that, or another," and the sky above. It's like he actually said you need to release the prisoner immediately. You just have one of the thralls do it, so they're just like translating. He speaks in ways you could never understand.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're too dumb to understand this guy.
This man is a genius. He is never direct with anyone he considers beneath him. He only barely speaks to us.
I was just thinking, can you imagine how terrifying it would be if someone was like, yeah, I know I kidnapped you off your planet, but if you want, I can drop you off on this other strange planet
Right.
you've never been on, ever.
Yeah. I know
If you want.
don't know what any of this shit is at all, but if you really want to be free again, I'll just leave. He did that shit on purpose, though. Like, if we're looking at it from a meta perspective, he's like, look, I know you're comfortable here, but if you
He's
want to
like,
leave,
"Here?"
you can. But you might not like it where we leave you. It's all double speak. Just think of all leadership, like, individuals in this setting as politicians, because that's more or less what they are.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a threat of being spaced, but it's not too far off.
It's worse. At least you die when you're done being spaced.
Here
There
you,
are way
like,
worse things that can happen
starve,
to you.
become a prostitute.
Oh, yeah. Hive werves are not very nice either.
Get turned into food.
Yeah. Get turned into
Become a
servitor.
mechanicus.
Yeah.
Corpse meal.
I tell you,
Harvested for parts repeatedly.
if I didn't know what was going on and I saw a cherub, I'd probably shit my pants, literally. Those things are the most terrifying things in 40k, I think.
What the fuck?
Little babies with wings, like naked babies flying around with like cyber eyes, and yeah.
I don't know who thought that was a good
I don't
idea
know.
in
They must have
setting.
been high as hell.
Like even not just like, you know, and of course, like whoever made it in the setting, right? It's like, yeah, they had a really weird idea for iconography. It's like, okay, sure, but like, who sat in a design board at Games Workshop? Like, you know what? Goofy, chubby,
Yeah.
cybernetic babies who fly.
The
This
funny
is
thing
gonna
is,
be-
if you read about them, it specifically says it's probably because they didn't want to take any heat. These are all vat grown. They're not real babies. You know, it's the only thing
Sure.
that's like, well, you can't go
They
that
retcon
far.
that shit.
Yeah.
They retcon that. I guarantee.
They're
in
not
earlier
real babies, they're aborted babies.
Yeah. I guarantee in an earlier rendition it was like, yeah, any children that didn't survive childbirth, well, we've got a task for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Waste not, what not.
That's
right.
right.
Ugh, what's WP doing?
Pooping.
Big poop.
You can't poop in a game. No time for that.
I do it all the time.
Well, at least you mute yourself and don't cause a disruption.
I'm back.
This is true.
Bo's pee. When he used to always take a pee with his mic hot.
Motherfucker. I remember that shit.
Make fun of him. What are you, 50? You go pee every 20 minutes?
It was.
Start, stop, start, stop.
He would be describing something, and then you just hear the piss stream, and you're like, "Is this part of the scene?" Like,
Yeah.
Is there a
So-
waterfall in
I was
here?
just I was gonna say,
why
we're
is
in a
there a waterfall in the middle of a volcano? I don't understand.
Alright.
It's a
You hear
geyser.
lava.
Alright.
God, you okay in there, Bo? It sounds like someone's holding a thumb over the end of a garden hose.
Prostate issues. Okay. You climb aboard a lighter. Claudia, this is the second time you've done this. It's kind of makes you nauseous as you kind of fly out into space, and then you see at the view screen just this kind of, it almost looks green from here, and then as you go down towards this planet, your pilot is just a servitor. There's no human pilot in here, so the servitor is doing all the piloting, hitting all the buttons, moving all the knobs. You cut down into the atmosphere, and everybody is just kind of amazed by how many buildings, how many, how much stuff there is. It's just, everything is polluted by light. You cannot see the stars. If you look up, you can't. It's just all too bright. It almost hurts your eyes as you come down into this place. The ship kind of careens around a bunch of buildings, and it knows where it's going. It's going down and down and down, and kind of you're cutting through alleyways and streets, and you see this massive platform that the ship just sits down on, and just goes, and there's a hydraulic hiss, and slowly the ramp comes down, and you hear a clank as you're open into the city.
Claudia's had been kind of looking forward to going planet side again, and is now just completely freaked out. This doesn't. There's no grass. There's no sky. There's no trees.
Mm-mm.
He kind of sees her discomfort. He's like, yeah, it was pretty shocking the first time I saw my hive world compared to what we grew up with.
So big and bright everywhere. And how many people live here? 1,000?
Several order magnitudes of that. The planet I'm from, the population is less than probably one of those large spires, and he kind of points maybe to one of the larger hab blocks of one of the larger ports of the hive city. I've been told certain hives can have billions upon billions upon billions of people.
Blinks, looking around. Shudders. I think I like it better on the ship.
I can't say I blame you. It's, I've met soldiers from these areas, and the kind of stuff they talk about, it's, the life they grew up in, it's quite horrific living in the sub-hives. But if there's one thing a hive world is good at producing, it's manpower for the Imperium, whether it's wage slaves for the manufacturer, or bodies for the Imperial Guard, or ship servants being press-ganged into the more tedious tasks of keeping the Navy in the void. They serve a role as much as my planet that's good at producing, soldiers, or planets like Newt's.
At any rate, this is going to be a real dangerous place. So, the less time we spend in it, the more time we spend going to where we need to be. I think the better.
Yes.
Agreed.
We are going to a prison? What does a prison look like here?
I'll be honest, I've never been to one. I have no idea. I can only assume it is large based on the population, or this might be a specialty prison if it's containing a psyker. In which case I expect large amounts of security. Regardless, the rosette will get us to where we need to be, and from there, I don't know.
Hey, Slip, I can try to kick you off and see if you can...
Yeah, kick me off. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep going. I think it'll eventually let me back in.
Okay. You land and talk for a moment, walk out. You realize that you're pretty close to where you're supposed to be. The servitor has flown you close. You see there's kind of a, you're on a circular pad, and it's kind of a gangplank walkway over to another building. When you get to that building, you see that it is specifically an access point for this prison for distinguished visitors, and there's a tube that you can take down that will head straight to it.
Yeah, I'll look towards Djangus. Djangus, you've been in this position before. I'll have you act as my herald, I guess, announcing my arrival, and once we've been granted audience with the warden, then I will speak with them.
Sounds good. If anybody requests things from you, I would just say, be direct, be simple in your requests, and act as if you expect to get it. And I'll try to back you up on things if it gets a little complicated.
Fair enough.
Step in the tube, and there's just one button, and you do see there's a essentially a vox that you can speak into. It looks like, from what you can tell, that the tube is locked down. You can't just hit the button and go. There has to be somebody has to activate it to allow you to come down.
Yeah, Djangus will speak into the Vox if he can activate it. Inquisitor Scarl is here. Appointment. Speak to the warden.
There's you get a sense of the response is through a servitor, just the way it sounds. The warden will see you. The warden will see you. And the button turns green, and you can hit it.
Yeah, press it.
Were we given a reason why Gadrin was imprisoned here?
No. You were not.
Okay.
When you hit the button, it seals, and then very quickly it goes zhoosh, and you feel like if an elevator went 10 times as fast, right? And you kind of zip down. It's kind of jarring, and then, but within 30 seconds, it slows, and then finally stops, and opens, and then you're in a different sublayer of the hive. Let's see. Is this what I want? Yes. As you exit the tube, you see coming over to you a guard. He has a las rifle in his hand, and he kind of approaches you and he says, "This way, Inquisitor."
He doesn't even bother looking at him when he talks. He allows his underlings, Claudia and Djangus, to interact with someone who's clearly so beneath him that he's not even worth a gaze.
Just to accentuate that, Djangus will step out with Claudia first, and he will look to the Thanes. Right this way, my lord. And just to really drive that home that he's not speaking to these guys. Just being a dick to him.
This floor is so dirty, she kind of mutters under her breath.
The guard looks a little...
Your poor robes.
He's, yes, he doesn't say anything. He just kind of shuffles towards another walkway that heads more to the interior. You see, there's kind of these vertical pods almost, and you see that there are probably people in there, but that you're not going that way. You're going a different way. You head down a walkway, and it turns a corner, and you see kind of it goes into this command room. And as it does, you see there's a woman standing kind of very erect, waiting at attention. Thane, this is something you saw a lot. This is kind of like that military decorum, and she stands there with her high-collared jacket on. She's very pale, extremely pale. Maybe that was one of the mutations they were talking about. She has almost silver hair. She is on her hip rests a chainsword, and then a pistol on the other. And she stands at attention. She says, "Inquisitor Scarl, I am glad to make your acquaintance. I hope that we can serve you in what way we know best." And she just waits to be addressed.
Thane, kind of takes his time as he walks up to Servilla, kind of gives her an appraising look from head to toe, kind of as a hungry person would stare at a meal, and before finally, Warden Servilla, I've read your dossier. You have served the Imperium faithfully, and I see that you will be serving the Imperium faithfully today in my request.
And your request is?
He kind of waves a hand to Claudia to maybe hand her a data slate. It's all here. We'll be transferring a prisoner of yours into our possession.
She looks to Claudia.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Thane would have given her a data slate or something to hand to Servilla.
Okay.
To basically say what the request was.
Claudia is trying to imitate this woman's, military posture. Maybe even outdo her.
Mm-hmm.
And pulls out the data slate and hands it to her with just a little hint of imperiousness, like, my boss is bigger than your boss.
She takes it and looks over it, and it's been prepared, and this is peculiar. Well, first things first, my lord. I need to run your identification. You understand?
Claudia kind of just like rolls her eyes and looks put out.
Djangus shakes his head. Would you like me to hand it to her, my lord? I wouldn't want you to dirty your hands.
He
This PC is quite dirty.
kind of gives a sigh, like, fine, and he hands the rosette to Djangus so he can hand it to her for Servilla to run whatever she needs to.
Yeah, Djangus will take it and he'll hand it. Don't drop this now.
She takes it and she looks kind of uneasy holding it. And she walks over to a cogitator, and it's got a scanning device, and she sits it below the scanner, and the scanner, there's like it almost sounds like a dot matrix printer, as it goes. And she's like reading the scrawl as it comes, the different scrawl, and she goes, Inquisitor scroll. All this checks out, but this prisoner, he is not to be released here. It is very dangerous.
I am aware of the danger. That is why I'm here.
Well, it will take perhaps an hour to prepare everything.
An hour? And she looks over at Djangus, just like disapprovingly.
Djangus looks at Claudia, and he's also looking to Servilla because they scanned that, and so she's saying she's giving them a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Is she being truthful?
Go ahead and give me an
or does
intuition.
she seem like she's stalling.
Ooh.
She calling the cops.
Mine's not coming up.
We both succeeded.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think she is being sincere. There's probably a lot of bull crap she has to deal with. There's she like forms she has to fill, probably technical issues, getting him out of there, getting him transferred, that sort of thing.
Thane kind of holds a hand up to Djangus and Claudia when they kind of object to the hour. The transfer of the prisoner requires special attention of the warden. I'm sure an hour is more than sufficient for them to properly prepare transfer of the individual to our care.
If you wish, one of my guardsmen can take you there to meet with him before the transfer, if that is something you wish.
Thane looks to Djangus like, yes, no, maybe.
Djangus, he...
Access to the prisoner, my lord, nothing more.
We should ascertain any special needs or risks that may not have been in the file.
And to ensure whose care he knows he's coming into, my lord, as well.
Very well, we shall see this individual in person.
Djangus walks over to collect the rosette if she's finished with
Yeah,
it.
she lets you take it. She doesn't want to handle it. And one of the prison guards says, "Very well. This way. Do know this one's a bit of a matter. Crazy."
We are aware of the dangers that he poses to the Imperium, hence why we are here.
Of course. And he leads you down another hallway, kind of out into a circular pad, and then on the other side you see there's just like kind of a guard station, and then just a lone cell. And he stops outside the guard station. He just like looks at you like go ahead and go inside.
He doesn't even look at him, but he goes ahead and goes in.
You do, when you go in, you see that there's a person just standing there outside. You have no idea. They don't look armed. They don't look hostile. They don't look like a prisoner. The cell is definitely, he's next to the cell, but he's not inside. He looks like he's seen some rough days. It's kind of what he looks like. And he's just standing there, kind of, he's leaning against the wall with his arms crossed over his chest. And you do see on his shirt, there's an imprint that just says 23. It's almost like a uniform. Kind of drab.
Mm-hmm. Like, most blanks make people feel like gross and weird.
Yes.
Are we getting
yes,
that?
you feel very uneasy as you walk down here. Maybe it's because of the psyker's, kind of reputation. But you feel very, very perturbed, almost sick to your stomach. Yeah.
Yeah, he feels that, like, queasiness, and I doubt he might know what a blank is, very unlikely,
Yeah,
but
I doubt it.
yeah, I doubt it too, but he kind of does his best to overcome this nausea and uneasy feel, and goes to where the psyker is being held.
Yeah, it's just the door after him. He just stands there. He looks at you. He doesn't say anything, and he kind of shuffles out of the way. Yeah, you can go inside.
Yeah, he'll go in.
You don't say anything to the guy outside. You just walk by him. Just
No, I'm
Yeah.
I'm an inquisitor. I'm not talking to that pathetic, worthless individual.
yeah. You go inside and
Djangus.
yeah, go ahead.
Give him a nod as he passes by. One muteid to another, he'll give him a nod as he passes by. He imagines this guy has a purpose for being here. He looks kind of fucked up, so.
Yeah, he kind of looks down. His face is had been in some sort of accident, like it's burnt. But he kind of looks away as you kind of look towards him, just like very meekly. And inside you see there's a man. He's wearing Thane. You recognize he's wearing a coat of an Imperial officer, some sort of high rank, not a commissar, but pretty high rank. And his lower jaw has been replaced by metal. And his eyes they almost have this strange, you think that they're his eyes have been replaced with some sort of strange opticals. They don't look like a cyber eye like Claudia's necessarily, but there's some sort of fake apparatus. He's kind of just sitting against the wall as you come in, and he looks up and, whoa, I've grown popular in the world, have I? An inquisitor to see old Gaedron.
Gaedron, rogue psyker, enemy of the Imperium. You're being transferred to my care. He kind of says care like with a nefarious,
Go ahead and give me a give me a rapport skill check. You can give it as a routine one.
Oof. Do I spend a fate on this? Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
What's the worst that could happen?
Fate has been tempted.
A 77.
Okay, that's
That's
better.
much better.
He, where are you taking me? Not to the black ship. I won't go.
Your willingness to go is irrelevant. You are being transferred to my care. A black ship is not where you are going. You have other uses for the Imperium.
Claudia's looking curiously at the blank. She's like worried about him listening to their conversation. She has no idea what a blank is either.
Yeah,
but-
he's just standing there.
None of us do.
Anybody who tries to make, he just kind of looks away. He'll answer questions, but he doesn't give you eye contact at all.
Why are you here? She says to him.
I'm here so he can't perform his psychic powers.
What do you mean?
I was born with, I don't know how to explain it. They call us blanks. And you just, you're looking at him. It's like he is repulsing you. Like his bad breath is amplified like 1,000 times. His skin seems to crawl. He makes you very, very nervous and uneasy. I'm here. I was born with something that makes psykers unable to reach their powers.
She kind of holds a hand up to her nose as if he smells. Although it's more of like a mental smell, I think she's getting. Like she's just repulsed for reasons she can't quite put a finger on. And she looks at the others. We aren't to take him with us, are we?
Would that have been addressed, like giving us like either the blank is coming with him or we're giving a side jammer of some kind? I don't know how, like what the transfer process would be.
I think you would want to you would want a blank, yeah.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, he's gonna kill you.
But that's what I figured. I didn't
Yeah.
know if they were, because I know they have like some anti-psychic devices, but yeah, why have an arcane device when you can just get a blank
Right.
prisoner to follow you around?
People are cheaper.
That's right.
Yeah, and you all overhear this, so Gydron just. You should kill him. Put him out of his misery.
And
You
why?
blow up all our heads.
So you can run amok? I think not.
He just sits back. Well, what do you want me to do? What is so important? Don't you have your own psychers to do your bidding?
Is he handcuffed or anything?
No. I mean, he's
No.
like completely useless without his abilities.
Yeah. Ignorance is strength. Gydron.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
What it means is that you don't got to worry about what you're going to be asked to do until it's time for you to do it.
Well, I'm bored, so I might as well ask. Who is this? Is this your concubine? Looks over at Claudia.
She snorts. Concubine, no.
Whore? Did you pick her up
Whore?
at one of the markets?
She looks over at Djangus. Does he want me to kill him? Is that what she's like honestly asking? Is he trying to provoke me?
Probably. He's probably trying to get you to start something. But, I don't know, my lord. What do you think? He's gonna be under our care. Suppose, Claudia could wrap him on the bead one if he was gonna get mouthy. Don't you?
He kind of thinks for a moment, looks up at the top of the prison cell, looks around, and turns his attention back to Gydron. If this line of petty insults continues, be sure to ball gag him and cover his head before we transfer him to our ship.
And she nods. And what of him? And points to the blank. He is coming then?
Yes, we wouldn't want Gadrin to get any ideas now, would we?
You should let him stay.
But our ship is so much nicer.
But doesn't he make you feel unwell? He does me.
She shrugs.
The blank says, I'm sorry. It's not... I know that people are uncomfortable around me. I'm sorry.
Thane won't even pay attention to him and his apologies. He just keeps his eyes on Gadrin.
So Gadrin is inside of a cell that we can't.
No,
enter
you're kind
overall
of at the
with him.
entryway. If you kind of looking at the screen, kind of where you are is the exit, and the blank is on the kind of next to you as well, on the outside. But he's in a cell. He can't get anywhere unless he goes through you. This is the cell.
Do you have anything in his cell? Anything of interest?
There's a couple data slates. Nothing really. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said he was in like an officer's uniform?
Yes. It's very ragged. It's very old.
Tell me, Gadrin, though I already know the answer, how did you end up here?
An Inquisitor Scarl put me here. Found me. Drug me from my unit. Fighting. And here I am. Why they didn't take me to the black ship I couldn't say. Or killed me then. But here I languish.
Perhaps there is a fate for you that you do not see yet, despite your gifts.
What is that? I'm too strong, perhaps, to be sacrificed on the black ship for His Majesty.
Like it or not, we all serve a purpose in the name of the God Emperor. Whether you choose to acknowledge that or see that is up to you.
Whatever you say. You're going to take me here and force me to do something against my will. What happens when you need me to use my psychic powers and the blank is gone? Do you think I will do it willingly, or do you think your head will pop?
Perhaps you would be more willing than you think you will be.
If you let me kill the warden, yes, I could be convinced to be a great ally. The blank is looking nervous, and Gydron says, I tell you what, a deal then. Bring her in here. Let me have my hands to get around her throat. The blank can even stay. I just will need some help, as I am not my former self, my fighting strength. But if you give her to me, then I will serve you. You won't have to worry about Gydron doing something untoward.
I don't feel like I have to, but can I see if he's telling the truth
Yeah.
anyway?
Of course. Intuition.
Oh, God.
You don't know. You have no idea. This guy's crazy. Maybe he's telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, so Djangus, Djangus is already, this guy's been a dick the whole time. He looks to Thane Claudia, and he looks to God. You seem to get the wrong impression about something, Gacker.
And? What is that?
So, you're sitting there when we got this fella here, you're in a highly secure cell, and you're going to another place where we're going to have you under lock and key, and you're somehow in a position to negotiate. I don't quite get what you think you're getting at, but you ain't getting nowhere without us. So, best you put faith that this is going to be a good arrangement for you, as opposed to rotting in this here fucking cell.
Looks at you, he's like, I think you're mistaken, mutant. You see, eventually you're going to want my skills, my powers, and I can't do that with a blank sitting next to me, can I? And what will I do when that blank is not there? Ha, you better hope you're not close to me.
I
What
got
does
a
it...
feeling that you're gonna appreciate where you're being taken to. Keep an open mind. Ain't that what you types do?
What's Claudia gonna say?
Yeah, she was going to say, besides killing the warden, what is it that you desire?
Fury. Chaos.
She kind of flashes to the demons that came out of the warp.
This.
Shudders. Oh. Is he sane enough to even be of use?
Yeah, Djangus is gonna look to Thane and Claudia. He looks at the blanket. Stay in your position. We're gonna have a chat. He looks to Thane and Claudia as if he wants to get him to come away from the cell a bit.
Yeah, she'll move over.
Yeah, the blank just, goes to his normal position. He's close enough that he knows where he's got to stay.
Yeah, Thane will go out.
Yes, we had to. We're gonna get someplace a little quiet. And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna be whispering the whole time and talk
Yep.
normal for the. I don't know how the two of you feel, but fury, chaos, and this is the type of person that's gonna be on board our ship.
We will take the blank with us. He will be our ace in the hole, so to speak. I will be honest, I don't know how this blank, is that what he called it? Yes, I don't know how their abilities work, but I know they work. I don't know how close they need to be to someone like Gadrin, but he will be our failsafe.
It's
The
less.
Lord,
Go ahead.
the Lord Kranix, he would not want us to kill the warden, would he? Gain favor with
No.
this madman?
No, we will, or should I say the Lord will offer him something, I'm sure, that will appeal to him that doesn't involve wanton destruction. I'm sure if he knows how to bargain, he will find something that he wants in exchange for his services. Or perhaps Lord Kranix is simply going to use him as a tool and properly discard him when the mission is complete.
I got a deeper concern than just that. We just had this real terrible encounter with demons and the warp. And this fella's clearly mad. And now our Lord is trying to bring him on potentially for what, as part of the crew, longer term. Why this psyker? There are other psykers that we could try to requisition. This is concerning me from a more broad perspective than the immediate. I ain't worried about bringing him on board the ship, the physical side of it, because we got that blank fella. But Kranix is asking us to bring this clearly disturbed individual on board. It's a danger to everybody, and something about it ain't sitting right.
It
Every
is as if inviting that the demons back.
every tool has a purpose. Some are a little more, how would I say, useful than others. Someone like this, he may serve some purpose. I don't know the exact details of how he ended up in this prison, but if our Lord is aware of him and believes him to be useful, who am I to question him? And if he proves to be problematic, it's not like we can't use the blank with us and end him. Without his powers, he is nothing. If he was something, they would have him more secured than they currently do, but simply being around this blank is enough to disable him, and they consider him a non-threat.
You served this house longer than I have, Thane, but I gotta wonder, because I've worked with some strange types, and their intentions weren't always clear. But you gotta wonder, at what point is what we're doing serving the Emperor, and at what point is what we're doing serving Kranix, because I'm starting to wonder if there's a difference in the lines. That's all I'm saying.
Someone took us out of warp. And then when those demons came aboard, and we are bringing this psyker on and a blank. How long do you think it will be before an attack is made on the blank?
If Lord Kranix is smart, or his son, or the arch-militant who is in charge of securing the ship is worth anything, they will know to keep that blank secure, as that is one of the best ways to defeat a psyker.
Yes.
Is to nullify their ability to communicate with the warp, which I believe is what this individual is doing.
We should just be very wary of that, I think.
I think Lord Kranix has weighed the pros and cons of using an individual like this to discover who almost destroyed the ship and the tens of thousands of people on board.
Alright, let's...
Perhaps he is bait.
Possible. Maybe he is there to draw out whoever is plotting against our Lord. That is a possibility as well. But I believe our Lord has a plan. Otherwise, if he didn't think he had something to offer this psyker, he wouldn't have asked us to retrieve him.
I am sure you are right. But I will be watchful.
As will I. I make this oath to you. If he is a problem, if he is not worth the cost, I will personally kill him. But until then, we have to trust that our Lord knows what is best for his house and for the Black Storm.
Yeah, she nods.
About that time, you hear footfalls behind you, and you look over your shoulder, and you see it's Servilla and a couple of her guards, and she says, "My Lord Inquisitor, everything is arranged."
Excellent. I appreciate your prompt response to this matter, and we will take this dangerous individual off your hands and see to it that his service to the Imperium is used appropriately.
And of course we are taking this one too, yes?
Of course,
2 points.
he is now yours to command. He is designated number 23. If you wish to know his name, you simply need to ask. He will follow all orders. He has been at this quite a while. I think his effectiveness will be good until he expires, but his mind is going.
Claudia pretends to know what she's talking about.
Yes, a very valuable update. We will be sure to requisition another blank when the time arises.
She stands up straight and clacks her heels together and gives a salute. My lord. And she just takes a step back, and the prisoner is yours.
Acolyte, hood, gag, and handcuff this man.
Claudia will enter the cell and do so.
Yeah, he fights a little bit, but he is weakened from being in the cell for so long. You can tell. He has the skeletal structure of somebody who's probably pretty formidable in strength, but he's just so weakened that he has nothing to give, and you're able to do that even though he's screaming at the top of his lungs, "I'll get you! I'll fucking kill you all!" And just, manacle ravings. And you're able to gag him, tie his hands behind his back with manacles, and throw a bag over his head.
Thane looks to Claudia. Escort the prisoner out. You, and he kind of nods towards Djangus. You're on number 23.
Understood,
Yes.
my lord. He goes over to
The blanks.
blank.
Yes, okay. Yes, I'm coming. And he kind of shuffles along with you.
As they're going along, I'll ask him his name quietly.
Yes, Djangus.
Alright, Dickus. Just, keep quiet for now.
Of course, my lord. He just bows his head, and he's kind of nodding and bowing almost as he walks, just, And, Servilla walks you towards, the exit, and the ramp towards the tube. And she says, "The tube is activated. You may take it up to the surface."
Thane looks to her, kind of better than thou look. Your service is appreciated. The Inquisition appreciates it. May the God Emperor protect you.
May the God Emperor protect you, my lord. She gives a
And he
bow.
kind of turns on his heels and goes into the lift, the tube, waiting for the others.
Yeah, Claudia's kind of pushing. She's got Gadrin by the manacles that are behind his back, just keeping a firm hand, kind of pushing him forward in the right direction since his head's covered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I come in with the blank last.
Yeah, as they're going up the lift, maybe when Gadrin, obviously he can't look, or the blank isn't looking, he looks to Claudia and Djangus and keeps a straight face, but gives him a little wink like, "Hey, well done."
Yeah, you get up to the top as the tube activates, and you're zipped up, and your ship is still there. There's no surprises, appears.
Yeah, he's not going to dilly-dally. He's going to get on that ship and get out of Dodge.
Yeah, Claudia has questions, but she just keeps looking at Gadrin and doesn't want to ask them, where while he's there, so she shuts her mouth.
You get aboard the ship, and Can you guys give me a hold on, let me think of something real quick. No, it's just yeah, the ship launches and you head up into the sky again. Claudia, you're kind of looking down as you see, kind of as you go away from all the light pollution and everything. You kind of see the stars, and finally you break through the atmosphere, and it's all pretty much gone. And you see the black storm, and your ship directly goes straight for it. Entering a hangar and setting down just as from where you left. And immediately as you do, something comes over the Vox, and it is Decimus. And he says, "Is the cargo in tow?"
We have retrieved. Oh, we've retrieved the package.
Bring it to the throne room.
Yeah, he'll go that way.
Yeah, you head to the throne room, and Decimus is waiting outside. And he walks over to Claudia and says, "I'll take it from here." And he kind of waves to some of the armsmen to collect Gadrin and the blank.
No.
You're right outside the throne room, but that's a big no.
No. We will be doing this, Decimus.
He looks at you and then shrugs and says, "Very well." And let me just swing over here real quick. Mistara's not there. You head inside, and Kranix, he looks up and he's like, "Ah, Thane. This is him, is it?" And he looks at the guy with the mask over his head, the bag over his head.
Yeah, Thane will go over and take the hood off, and not quite the ball gag just yet, and he goes, "I present to you, Lord Kranix, the rogue psyker Gadrin. This," and he kind of points to 23, goes, "This is 23. He is a blank that has neutralized his ability."
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Thane, Djangus, Claudia, you may leave us. I will contact you soon.
Claudia will just bow, looking at the others for, cues. But she looks nervous. Looks nervously at Gadrin.
Yeah, Djangus will bow. And he will turn to leave if Rogue Traders asked him to leave.
Yeah, he's a little nervous as well, but he's been ordered to do so. And as long as the blank's in there, he'll leave.
As you leave, Decimus watches you, and the doors shut as you're exiting, unless you have something else to say. I know somebody was saying something.
No, she was say, "I have a bad feeling about this."
Yeah, you exit, the doors shut, and then you can give us some final RP as you head out through the foyer and into the bowels of the ship once more.
Yeah, Thane will look to the two of them and, "Well done to both of you, but I share both of your concerns. I truly do. But I have to believe that Lord Kranix knows what he is doing, and we will be able to right this wrong if need be. I believe that.
They're out of earshot of people near the
Yeah,
throne room.
you're on your own. Nobody can hear you.
Yeah, if they're after Thane says that, whether they're going down the elevator or what they're doing. Oh, I got no doubt that Lord Kranix knows what he's doing, Thane. Like I said, I don't know if what he's doing is right, much as it pains me to say it.
Right, wrong. All I know is I hope that Newt is healing fast, because I have a feeling we will need him soon.
Fair enough. I'm sure, if need be, he will be able to put his eviscerator and split him in two.
And you contemplate Newt killing Gaidron with one blow with his eviscerator, with no doubt he could. And as you head back to the barracks and take off your inquisitorial garb and eventually give back the rosette to Decimus, who comes to collect it, and the armor, and and the screen fades. That's it.
Ugh, this is just terrible.